The Diddy scandal just got even messier, with some rumors suggesting he might have done something shady to people who knew too much about him. There are also reports of new witnesses coming forward, linking both Diddy and Ashton Kutcher to the tragic passing of actress Brittany Murphy. What's even stranger is that Brittany and Diddy's ex, Kim Porter, both passed away from pneumonia under similar circumstances. The connections and eerie similarities have fans wondering if there's more to these stories than we've been told. Over the years, there have been plenty of wild rumors about Diddy being tied to some pretty shocking stuff. From the drama surrounding Tupac and Biggie, to stories about him allegedly not being happy with Kid Cudi, for dating Cassie. But one rumor that's really stuck around is his supposed connection to Brittany Murphy's unexpected passing. Initially, her death was ruled as pneumonia mixed with anemia and some over-the-counter meds. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, not exactly. Then came the theory that black mold in her home might have played a part, which raised even more questions. So get this, no mold was ever found, so that theory didn't pan out. But here's where things get weird. Brittany's dad wasn't convinced, so he brought in a private investigator. Apparently, they uncovered signs of heavy metal exposure. And here's the wild part, it's supposedly the same kind of issue connected to another high-profile case. What's even more unsettling is that before her passing, Brittany had told friends she was scared, like someone might be trying to harm her. She even suspected something wasn't right. And honestly, it just keeps getting stranger from there. Word is Kim Porter mentioned to her close friends that she was feeling really uneasy and worried about things. And then, just a few months after Brittany passed away, her husband, Simon, also passed from similar health issues, pneumonia and anemia. Honestly, what are the chances of that happening? It really makes you think about what might have been going on behind the scenes. I mean, do you notice the pattern here? Lately, people have started piecing things together, and what they're finding has everyone seriously surprised. People have been questioning the official story around Brittany Murphy's death for a long time, and now some new details are starting to surface. It's making folks wonder if there's more to it, especially when you look at the strange connection between Diddy and Ashton Kutcher. Everyone knows Ashton and Diddy have been close for ages, which is kind of interesting since Ashton used to date Brittany. But after her passing, Ashton stayed pretty quiet about the whole thing, which felt a little odd. And now his name keeps coming up in those stories about Diddy's wild parties and some unsettling rumors. Brittany was one of the biggest stars of the early 2000s, delivering iconic performances that everyone loved. But behind the scenes, her life was far from what it seemed. Things took a heartbreaking turn and she passed away unexpectedly, leaving fans in Hollywood with so many unanswered questions. It all happened in December 2009 when the LA Fire Department responded to a call at the home she shared with her husband, Simon Monjack. Despite Simon's efforts and her being rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, she didn't make it. The reported causes included pneumonia, anemia, and certain medications, but there were always details that just didn't sit right. To make things even more unsettling, Simon also passed away a few months later under very similar circumstances, adding more mystery to an already tragic story. Here's where things get pretty strange. Brittany's husband, Simon Monjack, didn't actually want an autopsy after she passed away, but legally he couldn't stop it. So the coroner's office went ahead with it the next day. A couple of months later, the official report came out saying her passing was accidental. The cause? Pneumonia, anemia, and some substances in her system that played a role. But here's the odd part. According to ABC News, the coroner's spokesperson, Craig Harvey, didn't give details about what those substances were at first. Simon said Brittany wasn't taking anything bad. He mentioned she was just using some herbal stuff, nothing that would mess with her heart or anything. The only other things she had were some regular meds for her monthly routine and a bit of cough syrup. Nothing to worry about at all. Naturally, fans started wondering if there was more to the story. And here's where it gets even stranger. Brittany's mom, Sharon, backed up Simon's claims, saying Brittany didn't drink or use anything harmful. At first, she thought Brittany's passing might have been due to an undiagnosed heart condition. But things get a little unsettling when you hear that Brittany had been feeling unwell for weeks and even told some people she thought someone might be trying to hurt her. Sharon later admitted that Brittany had been feeling paranoid, like someone was out to get her, and on top of that, her house had CCTV cameras and fingerprint locks. Definitely sounds like she was feeling scared in the time leading up to her passing. The story took another strange turn when word got out about mold issues in the Hollywood Hills house. Simon and Sharon even suggested that toxic mold might have played a role in Brittany's passing, but things got a little weird when investigators wanted to test for mold and they wouldn't allow it. If they really thought mold was the problem, stopping the inspection didn't add up. Later, a pathologist confirmed there was no mold involved since no signs of it were found during the autopsy, so that theory was completely ruled out. Brittany's fear of being poisoned was a big red flag. In her final months, her behavior reportedly changed a lot. She became really paranoid, avoiding certain food and drinks because she thought someone might be trying to harm her. She even told close friends she believed powerful people in Hollywood were keeping an eye on her with bad intentions. Then there's her husband, Simon Monjack. Their relationship raised a lot of eyebrows. He had a questionable reputation, with rumors of shady behavior like fraud. Many of Brittany's friends felt he was taking advantage of her, and their relationship definitely had its share of red flags. Some even think Simon might have been more connected to the mystery surrounding Brittany's tragic passing than people realize. When the mold theory was ruled out, people started looking at something even more unsettling. A few years later, Brittany's dad, Angelo, had a private lab run some tests, and the results were shocking. They discovered extremely high levels of heavy metals in her hair, way above normal. These metals are often linked to things like rat poison or insecticides. Angelo even believed there was foul play involved, so why didn't the original autopsy catch this? Experts say the coroner's office wouldn't test for heavy metals unless there was a specific reason to suspect poisoning. But here's the thing, Brittany had been telling people she was scared of being poisoned. Why wasn't that taken more seriously? From ignoring her concerns to dismissing the mold issue, there were so many red flags. And then Sharon and Simon reportedly blocked key investigations, which only adds to the suspicion. On top of that, Sharon's actions after Brittany's passing raised even more questions. Sharon lived with Brittany and Simon and was super close to her daughter, but after Brittany's passing, there were whispers about Sharon and Simon's relationship, with some saying the two got a little too close for comfort. It's just another strange turn in an already unsettling story. And here's where things get even weirder. After Simon passed away, Sharon sold the Hollywood Hills house right away and stopped talking about the mold theory she had been so vocal about before. It makes you wonder, why wouldn't she push for a deeper investigation into her daughter's unexpected death? If there were so many unanswered questions, wouldn't a mom want to get to the bottom of it? Some fans think Sharon and Simon might have been part of a cover-up, but what about the influential Hollywood players Brittany was reportedly nervous about? There's talk that she was sidelined for not going along with the usual Hollywood scene, which supposedly included skipping Diddy's wild parties. And where does Diddy come in? Well, Brittany was said to have crossed paths with him through Ashton Kutcher, one of Diddy's good friends. Brittany and Ashton got close after meeting while working on Just Married. Could this have been the start of her challenges? The links between Brittany, Diddy, and Ashton have fans asking a lot of questions. You're right, so here's where it gets interesting. When Brittany and Ashton were together, there were all these rumors flying around about them being engaged because they were spotted with matching rings. But that was never really confirmed. Their relationship was super short, like 5 months, and supposedly ended because Ashton got involved with Demi Moore. The timing was sketchy since Ashton and Demi went public right after his split with Brittany, which definitely raised some eyebrows. But here's the wild part. There's been talk that Brittany might have stumbled onto some things she wasn't supposed to know about when it came to Diddy and Ashton's party scenes. Apparently, some anonymous sources have even reached out to authorities, claiming Brittany found out some serious info about what went down at those parties.